Birds of the same feather, cut from the same cloth, peas from the same pod. These are all sayings that we hear on a daily basis. And yet, it is so hard to find a similar bird in your life. But not here. Welcome to the book reading session with Dr. Kiran Bedi, a platform where you can meet like-minded teenagers to discuss various topics and ask thought-provoking questions. Not only does the BRS promote book reading, but at the same time, it helps you to find similar kids your age who are all striving for a much better future. Welcome to the BRS.
Some favorite hobbies of mine are knitting, true crime podcasts, cooking, cocktail making. I used to scrapbook a lot, and I will be showing you a few glimpses of my best art.
Reading is my passion. I practice classical dance and I love it. Learning French, drawing, painting, art and craft are my hobbies.
My hobbies are dancing, listening to music, singing, and participating in extracurricular activities, sports. And here is a small video of my dance.
I've always believed that one should fill their life with colors. My hobby is drawing, and here are some glimpses into the drawings I've done.
My hobbies are dancing, cooking and listening to music. I have practiced and Bharatanatyam. My passion is to take photographs. I have took many nature photographs. Here are some of the photos.
My hobbies include playing football, calligraphy writing and coding. Here's a glimpse of my calligraphy writing.
The Life of Indira Gandhi. This book is her biography and her story of a woman being pushed into the public eye, corrupted by power and assassinated by those she should have trusted the most. My favorite part in this book is when she helps Bangladesh gain their independence. Thank you so much.
My favorite book is You're Born to Blossom, written by APJ Abdul Kalam. In this book, he mentions the social evils and discriminations in the Indian society. Kalamji believes India can only develop by transforming its society. This starts by improving the standards of the governing system of India.
My favorite storybook is Buddhist stories, and why I like the book is because it mainly talks about the early life of Gautama the Buddha, how he became a Buddha and his path to enlightenment, how he changed the life of Angulimala, how he started the Zen.
Among the books that I have read, Connect the Dots is my favorite because it tells us the story of 20 entrepreneurs who did not have an MBA but still paved their own path. This book taught me that we should never give up but have a desire to prove ourselves.
My favorite book is The Alchemist, written by Paulo Coelho. It tells us the story of Santiago, an Andalusian shepherd boy who is embarking on a quest to find treasures at the Egyptian pyramid after having recurring dreams about it. This book was an eye-opener for me and it helped me to introspect myself. And it is highly recommended and it will surely set your hearts on your deepest goals. Best wishes.
My favorite book is When Breath Becomes Air by Paul Kalanithi. He has conveyed a message that in the face of death, one can stop and quit or fight till the end. Here, Dr. Paul Kalanithi, an American neurosurgeon, was determined to make a story out of his life, out of the best time he had. Thank you.
How lovely. How lovely. धारी माँ आप सबको a lot of namo to your रिश्ता हमारी audiences का स्वागत है Mami, they're all from Sharjah, Emirates School, Sharjah, bright young girls. Children, we just saw your video. Grow in your faith, grow in life. Let your creativity blossom and flourish. Ji, Mami.
How lovely. Hey, welcome, Sharjah. Welcome. I was in Sharjah about a less than a week ago. I was in Sharjah and I was in Dubai and I was in Abu Dhabi. And I was on the invitation of a group called Lifology. And they have headquartered already in Dubai. And Lifology is all about teaching you how do you lead life. I'm sure one day the group will connect with your schools in Lifology. It's very nice. And it's all about parenting, also about parents. So I went to them to work and be part of their team on Lifology, parenting, and we also meet the author called Ajay Kumar, who's written called Mindful Parenting. I released his book. So this is how UAE was with me just a week ago. And I'm so glad. I didn't know the demonstrative learning was getting people from girls from the UAE. Thank you, Saina and Shakira and Shivani and Sujata for having brought you together. I'm so happy to see you. So Aisha, I've heard your reading of the book. I've seen your video. So tell me about Sharjah. It's very impressive. The area is so very impressive. It's any number of Manhattans there. Tell me.
Yeah.
Yes, Aisha.
Sharjah is actually where I live. I love my place actually. I've been living in Sharjah for more than 10 years.
Wow.
Yes.
10 years of Sharjah is a lot. So have you seen it grow, multiply? And each building is an outstanding piece of art.
Yes.
No?
Yes.
Each building is a piece of art in UAE, almost. So how do you cope with so much of multi, so much of heights? How do you cope up with that?
We are so used to it because we have been here from a very young age.
So when you come back to Delhi or India, how do you feel? You feel pygmies? You feel like pygmies?
Yes.
What do you like? Do you like that low heights or do you still used to high heights? Girls, tell me. Erin?
I mean, in India, there's more nature. Here, it's kind of.
Christine?
It's only city. So when you go to India, suddenly all the greenery around you, it surprises you. All of a sudden, going from a city to India, so much greenery. Especially we all come from Kerala, so the greenery makes us really happy when we suddenly see.
God's own land. God's own land.
Yes.
Yeah, Kerala is very green. There's no doubt. But how do you feel those who are not from Kerala? Who's not from Kerala?
Here.
We all are from Kerala.
All of you from Kerala?
They all are from Kerala. They all
Oh,
are.
wow. Oh, you're from God's own land. Kerala has many, many strengths in certain areas. So what do you find the best in Kerala? Aisha, what do you find? When were you there in Kerala last?
I was there from July 29th till August 26th last year.
Acha. It's like the annual holiday? Annual holiday?
No, it was summer vacation.
Okay. Erin, when did you go to Kerala last and what happened?
I went to Kerala this summer vacation. It was nice, actually. It was another atmosphere. I felt great. I had a chance to meet all my cousins, my grandparents. It felt nice.
Esther, you? Twins? Your twin?
Yeah.
Your twin and Esther? Yeah.
Yeah, I went around the same time, summer break. That would be from July to August. And it was fun meeting grandparents after the COVID times, about 2 years later.
I just want to mention Erin and Esther are blessed twin sisters.
Yeah, I said so. I just mentioned. Good for reminding Erin and Esther. No, when you go there, Dhanush, when you go to Kerala.
Yes, ma'am.
What is that what you really like? What is this that you really love? What is it?
Food, ma'am. Food.
Food?
Yeah, ma'am.
back in Sharjah? When mommy must be cooking for you.
My mummy cooks, but my grandmother cooks more better. So
Don't
so
tell
much
your mom.
yummy foods.
Don't tell your mom this.
Yeah, she's so jealous.
That's called the original food from Kerala. It comes from deeper roots. Huh? What is that part of the food? Which part of the food?
Which nothing like that, ma'am. My grandmother is a best cook, I can say. So
Mommy is
whatever
asking what all does your granny cook for you? What are the dishes?
she
What's
cooks
special?
biryani. She's a
Wow.
specialist in chicken.
Uh-huh. What
Yeah,
kind of
so
chicken? What kind of chicken? Curry
yeah,
or
curry, roast, dry biryani,
super?
varieties she will make. Yeah.
Lovely. And you, Saira? Did you go to
Uh,
Kerala?
yes, ma'am. When I go to last, I went to Kerala in 2022 July 7th, ma'am, and I returned back at August 18th. I
All summer vacations. Yeah.
Ma'am, after 4 years, I went to India because during the school time we were not able to travel to India. And the most lovely thing when I went to India was the greenery, my grandmother, their hugs and kisses. Also, I miss them. Um and yes, ma'am. And I was
Lovely.
able to meet my grandparents, relatives, cousins, all. They were also happy and glad to see me. Uh, yes, ma'am.
You must be doing all of you, Christine. You must be doing a lot of Zoom calls with your parents and grandparents and your friends. What do don't you do Zooming?
Yes, ma'am, of course.
So much
Almost
interesting.
almost every day. We try almost every day. Only
Hmm.
some days if we can't only. But most of the days we try every day to Zoom call or this board team or at least phone call them.
What's different in schooling between your education here and Kerala schools with your friends? What is the difference, if any?
The biggest difference is co-education. In Kerala schools, there's co-education. Here, only till third standard, you're with boys, and then you get separated. Most
Oh, I
schools here have different schools for a boys. They have a boys' school and a boy girls' wing. Our school, at least in the same complex, but we are not allowed to talk to them in the school.
I was in Abu Dhabi school called Bright Rider School. Bright Rider School in Abu Dhabi. They had the boys and girls sitting in the same auditorium together. So Bright
Ah,
Riders.
the same auditorium, it's fine. Same auditorium, but they'll be kept in different. Like right side will be girls, left side will be boys,
Ah,
because programs will happen together. Then march past, all those are together. But assemblies, all these are together. But education, like in classes, are different for us. It's stricter in
acha.
Sharjah. Dubai, there's more leniency.
So how and what about the schooling, the education, the subjects, the level of awareness, knowledge? How do you feel compared to your friends back home in Indian schools in Kerala?
Since we are studying CBSE syllabus, there isn't much difference.
Syllabus is the same.
Yes, it
But
is.
since we're in UAE, we have extra subjects which include Arabic, moral education, and all of those.
Oh, moral education is very good.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
There's
Now,
higher education, more education.
sorry, yeah, moral education now coming back to India through the national education new policy. Moral education almost disappeared. It's now making a comeback to the Indian education system, which I think plays a very vital role in the foundation building. So the schools must be giving you books to read, like we got demonstrative learning asks you to read a book and declare. Aren't the schools also saying book of the month, Aisha?
I don't really know because my sister reads me mostly. I just take borrow some books from her. I don't really borrow from the library, from the school.
But don't they have a school, the book of the month, something like that, Aisha?
No.
Ah, that should be a good idea to have the schools because otherwise you'll go far away from reading hard copies. Go away from you'll only remain digital. But reading a hard copy is a different experience. Like you all showed me the book you read. You didn't say I read it on digitally. You showed me all six of you have shown me a book.
Ma'am, we have library classes every week, and we get to borrow books.
Acha.
Yeah,
Acha.
ma'am.
So you go to library.
After
Carry
reading the
on.
book, we have a summary book, so we have to write the summary of the book about it and submit to our teachers.
How often is it? Is it any periodicity or is it
Yeah,
a
every week.
month?
Every week we have the library period, and we take one book, read,
Depends on
and
how fast
we
you
can,
read.
yeah, we can issue the book, and after reading, writing the summary, we have to return the book back, and we can get another new book for
I think
reading.
that's wonderful. That makes you read a lot then.
Yes, ma'am.
Because the fact that you also make a summation, I think is excellent. You must be learning so much. You people are then literally literators, you're readers. Huh? You're really readers. All six of you. Excellent. Saina, what would you like me to ask further? I have their questions.
Yes, we can start with that.
We'll start with the questions. Okay, Erin, what's your question?
Ma'am, I want to know why India doesn't have universities of repute like Harvard and Oxford, barring the IITs and IIMs.
Why doesn't UAE have? Even I was asking this question when I was traveling because you got such lovely schools, very good schools. Some of them are very, very good. All, no, some of them, all the schools I got to visit, they were outstanding schools, very good principals, very missionaries. So, and even you have to, some of you girls, children from the UAE, Indians, they go to Europe. Why? Because you also don't have. In fact, I believe your leadership now is working towards bringing in these international universities to UAE. I believe so. Are you hearing it?
Yes, ma'am.
Even I heard so because I was asking this question which you're asking me for India. And I think it's time where, since you are having an exodus, Indian children, particularly Indians and many others, UAE's citizens themselves, they are going to Europe and elsewhere. And those of course who got the baccalaureate school, then they go straight away to Nordic countries in particular. They get easily admitted there. But I think even the UAEs with the years to come would have these international institutions, though they've got the IIT Delhi, sorry, IITians from India, they've got management schools of symbiosis, etc. They've got IIT, they've got these kinds of institutions, but they're also a little slow yet. So I think just as UAE is taking its time to understand the newer challenges in education, though you have a large crop, very large crop of young students, where do they go? Isn't it? So did India. What happened in this answer to your question is India is also picking up now. It's also opening up and it's inviting international universities to come and bid. And that Indian government is now assuring them of a lot of facilitations to come and join in and giving them a lot of freedom to make these subjects open, even because India has also very vital exodus of children wanting to even go for graduate classes to the States and Europe, particularly to the United States. And now India, I think another 3-4 years, you will have some of them returning here with foreign faculty and starting their own charters. Of course, there'll be certain conditions on sovereignty and security matters, but otherwise, even India is now opening up to foreign universities to come and set up campuses here. So India too will evolve. But why did it not happen this far? It's all a matter of growth, evolution, looking ahead, challenges, political decisions, and also the social milieu. Can you do it? Is it time for it? Is the society ready for it? And I think society is getting far ready for it now.
Okay, ma'am.
So it's taken its time, but it is also now progressing. So, Erin, what's your next question? Is Esther, your question, the twin? Have you sorted out the question amongst yourselves?
Yeah, absolutely.
Tell me.
My question is, what does India need to do to improve its tally in Olympics and to qualify for the FIFA World Cup, considering India 17% of the world's population?
Every country has its own core sport. India's core sport is hockey. Just as Europe all over is a lot of football. America is not so much into. America is to basketball and many other things, right? But every country has its own core sport. India's core sport, which takes great attention and investments also. Not that football is not promoted, but the core which is in the genes of the people. Like cricket is also in Indian genes. Cricket and hockey. And now with the girls doing exceedingly well in India, wrestling is coming into our genes. Wrestling, and then also we got the Olympian medal, in that throw. What do you call that?
Javelin.
Javelin. So we got javelin, and also badminton. So Indian genes are now coming. See, every country has its own growth of games. Where did it come from? Those which got invested into better coaching, better sports facility. Like you had a Gopi Chand, who is a national, international champion himself, set up his own Gopi Chand Academy, and he started to teach badminton to the youngsters last 2 decades, starting with his own pocket money investments, own home investments. And you see, India is producing Thomas Cup champions. We won the Thomas Cup. We were the world champions. So it's all about the growth. But India is now also promoting, also in the last few years, particularly promoting a lot of sports. And Indian women, in fact, are greater winners in Olympics and doing better in international sports than comparatively earlier and compared to the men. But we also are very good in shooting. So India's shooting, hockey, cricket. Cricket, though, is not the Olympic Games at the moment. But if it does, tennis has also been, but till a while, India slid back. But India had Mahesh and Bhupati, etc., who were Wimbledon players. So India may not be working on FIFA's kind, but India does have football, but not of that level. So I think it's a question of. But football is very popular in northeast of India. Boxing is very popular in northeast of India. They're very natural reflexes. Another fencing and other games are very good in northeast. So every country, like Kerala, produced PT Usha. Kerala is excellent in athletics. You're light on your feet, and you eat a lot of fish. Do you? Yeah. So fish eating also helps somewhere, more cerebral, etc., and lighter, and no fat gained. So you see, all of you thin, slim PT Ushas, who's now the heading the Indian Olympic Committee, IOC. So we've had PT Usha. Of course, we've added another game since I'm remembering. So Kerala is very good for athletics. But Orissa and other states are also now contributing because the state is now investing into games like hockey. So whichever state is also investing into a particular game, like Haryana invested a lot into wrestling, and Orissa is now investing a lot into hockey, etc. It is emerging. So FIFA may not be, but other games will be. And even now, India is bidding for the next Olympic Games, which is two Olympic away. I think that's how Indian sport will also grow. As you grow up, you will see this change.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay, next question, Christine.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, my question is, as a civilian with family responsibilities, how do I fight corruption in India?
How do I fight corruption in India? As what you said?
Ma'am, as a civilian with family responsibilities, ma'am, I cannot become politician because I need to take care of my grandparents, my family and all. But without becoming a politician, how do I fight corruption in India as a normal civilian?
By first of all, not contributing to corruption yourself. Because we are also contributors. We are also abettors. We also feed it. Because we are selfish in our own needs. So when you feed it, you abet it. You are contributing to it, to the growth of corruption. I'm talking about only India at the moment. I only understand my own country. I don't understand others. But I think here we've been feeding it as quick money to get decisions done, which may be irregular for ourselves, and we want them hook or crook. So we pay speed money to get our work done, which may not be within the rules. So we aid it. Secondly, we are also extorted. We are also extorted if we found that we are vulnerable and we are weak, or we can be used. So therefore, the next officers across feel that we are all by ourselves and we desperately need something and we got the paying capacity. So the officer then extorts it from you, and then you are forced to give. So first is abetment, first is a transaction, second is an extortion out of compulsion. Now the question will be, Christine, you might be asking, how do I check extortion? First is you don't contribute. Second is, how do I check extortion? And now India has developed open systems, very many open systems to complain and cry foul, if you're not to be afraid. Because sometimes when you complain, you go through a very arduous process of investigations and uncertainty of how soon will the matter get settled. So you are afraid, you sometimes pay to avoid getting into an arduous legal long drawn process. But the safest bet is that if supposing you're in India and you are being asked to pay up, you say, okay, let me come back. Come back, go back, talk to your parents, talk to your friends who are depending, find a way out. Next time, don't go alone. Don't go alone.
And this time, when we went to India, my family faced this problem. We had to settle some documents, but then we didn't pay any bribes. Okay, but then we faced so much difficulty because we didn't pay any bribes. They lengthened the process unnecessarily, and so many difficulties we had to face.
That's what they do. Because if they're not getting something in return, some individuals will lengthen the process so that you lose your patience and you pay speed money. So this way is to, of course, not go alone, question it, pursue it, but this takes time and takes a lot of energy and follow up. So sometimes it's very irritating. So another way is to get associated with some influential group which has an association or a activist group or an NGO which fights corruption, and it's credible. It's credible. It doesn't use you too. So sometimes you want to hasten a process, identify which are the helping groups if they're around. Could be women's groups, could be activists, could be good NGOs, could be good Samaritans, or could be an influential person you can come across who puts in a word for you to hasten the process. And of course, there is now mygovernment.in, mygov.in. That's Prime Minister's portal for grievances. mygovernment.in. In mygovernment.in, if you feed the complaint that this is what's happening, it goes from that portal to the department concerned. And that department has to respond, or it's all digital and on the net. So you can try mygovernment.in.
Okay.
But it doesn't stop here. You can use the social media. You can use the social media. If it's policing, tweet, Facebook, or Instagram, put it on saying this is what's happening here. I need help. Tweet it. You can tag along the concerned minister or officer. He gets it. And it gets known on the Facebook. So everybody's afraid of losing some reputation or doesn't want to be exposed. So you have many options now to social media can be used for this purpose as well. By seeking help. You're not complaining, saying, I need help. I've come from UAE, I've come from overseas, I need this urgent help, I'm stranded. Could you please help? And persevere, keep sending, it'll help.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Or go to the next senior. Seek an appointment, go to the next senior. Dare to go to the next senior, saying, I'm only asking for expeditious decision making. I'm not asking for any favor. So go to the next senior. Find out who is the boss of this person. Ask for an appointment and go. It works. So any one of these measures will work. Can work. Okay, Christine?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much.
You got lots of ideas now. So you can say,
Yes.
I have a bouquet of ideas. Okay, Danusha, your turn.
Yes, ma'am. My question is, how do you enable students to learn?
Good question. Answer lies also with you. Let me hear you. You six of you. How do you make yourself learn? Now let's turn around the question. So you say, how do you make students learn? Okay. Now you're a student. How do I make you learn, or how do you make yourself learn? Let's have five views. You are the sixth view, and then we'll come to the overall view. Okay, Erin, a question with you. How do you make yourself learn? Now
Ma'am,
imagine yourself.
ma'am, I think concentration is what you need for studying and learning.
Competition. Competition.
Concentration.
Concentration, correct. Ah, that's a good idea. Concentration. No, child. Concentration. The question is, how do you, well, concentration enables learning. But how do you get to be hungry for learning? That's, I think, your question, Tanush, isn't it? How do
Yes,
you become keen to learn? Why should you learn? What makes you learn? What makes you hungry to learn? That's a question. And why should you learn? And what makes you learn? Is it examination? Examination is a reason for learning because I have to pass an exam. It's a compulsion. Sometimes, number one, it's a compulsion. Understandable, isn't it? One is, why do I eat food? I want to eat food to survive, but I am hungry. So, do I enjoy the food when I'm hungry, or do I enjoy the food anyway? Tell me, Erin.
Ma'am, I enjoy food anyway, ma'am.
You're cooking oriented, isn't it, Christine? Oh no,
I'm
somebody
eating
wanted
oriented.
many of you do a lot of cooking. So Erin, I think I'm only trying to cue you a little. Tell me what makes you. I want you to think. Put on your thinking cap and tell me what makes you willingly learn. I told you one is examination. Second,
Ma'am, I think you need to have doubts. Then you might be hungry for learning.
you want to clear your doubts. That's why you learn. So you said doubts, right?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Put it. Saina, would you like to write down these? I think these
Yes,
are good, a good new word. So
it's
doubts, doubts,
curiosity.
doubts
You're
means
curious
concentration
to
will come
learn.
to that. How they do it better.
Curiosity.
Yeah. So she said doubts. Any other? Esther,
The
what
crave
makes
for
you
knowledge.
crave for knowledge? Craze for knowledge, craving for knowledge.
Hmm.
That's what I said. Hungry for knowledge because you also crave for a chocolate. There's a craving for sugar. There's a craving for a sweet. After the food, you want to have a craving for a sweet dish. It's a craving because your body's saying, hey, I want something sweet. It's a craving, isn't it? So you're looking for it's craving for knowledge. Dhanush will come to you last. Saira,
Ma'am, I think our goal, ma'am, uh,
your goal. Okay, your
what
goal.
I, yes, ma'am, our goal and our dream, it makes us learn. I think any hard situations, it will make us learn. If we have a strong goal, if we have uh, someone to support us, it is more than enough, ma'am.
Okay, good. Christine,
Yes,
what
ma'am.
makes you learn?
I develop interest in the subject, ma'am, by being curiosity. That curiosity gives me and makes me happy. So where I receive new knowledge with surprise, so that I won't forget. Like when I know something new, I'll be like, oh, it's like that, and then I'll remember that forever.
Good. So curiosity and your interest in the subject and curiosity.
Yes,
Aisha,
ma'am.
what makes
I
you learn?
like to I like to compare myself with my friends and just feel like if I can get better or like if I can become the topper or something like that.
To do better.
Compare.
She's
Comparatively, to do better. Competition.
competitive. Yeah.
So competition. Saina, what makes you learn?
My mom
What
makes
makes
me learn. My faith makes me learn.
so
But
yours is
I'm
your faith?
my mom
Mm.
makes me learn, and I need to tell you this, that learning needs to be a need and a want. It has to be a need and a want, and it has to come from within. But my Dhari mom makes me learn. It has to be a
I'll tell
need and a
you.
want.
Good. I'll tell you what makes me read the newspaper every morning. I can tell you. It is to learn. It is to know. It is to find out and explore. It is also to add something new to my knowledge and skill. I'm looking for an editorial or an article or a piece. So, Danush, tell me now what are the answers you get now? What's your answer? We can do a summing up.
Ma'am, studies are our first step to our dreams or success, and by studying we can know more about our world or what's happening around us. Yes, ma'am.
So that's a keenness to know. Look, the as all of you have said it somewhere or the other in some way. When do you want to learn more? When you want to know more. And as one of you said, you're curious. As Christine said, you're curious. You're hungry. And you have, look, you want to improve your dictionary? What would you do? You learn a word every day. You would say, I want to improve my vocabulary. Now you want to improve your vocabulary. You want. What would you do? You'll go to thesaurus. You'll go to a thesaurus, or you'll go to a dictionary, and you pick up a word saying, okay, I want to learn this, the spelling and the meaning and the different meanings of it. Now, is it to compete? It will lead to better competition. It will lead to additional in your vocabulary. It will lead to enhanced communication skill because you got the right word. These are the benefits of learning. But why are you wanting to learn? The key is that you want it. You want to be better. You want to know more. And that you want to score more. It's a competition that also is important. And you want to be seen as the brightest. You want to see scoring better. Oh, they'll say, oh, Erin, Esther, Danush, Sarah, and Christine, Aisha, they're very bright. When they communicate, God knows where they're getting their words from, but they know it all. As I said, why would you read the news? All right, let's look at it. Why would you read the news? How does it matter? It doesn't become in competition. You're not going to be getting tested on numbers or tell us what is the world news of today. No. Why should you know the world news? Why should you watch the television to watch the news? Why should you read a newspaper? Why should you go to the internet to read why should you listen to the radio for news? Why? Why? Erin, why?
Ma'am, I think it is to keep ourselves updated, to know that to know how we can improve ourselves from others' mistakes.
Esther, if you don't keep yourself updated and learn what's happening around the world, what happens?
You become outdated.
Yes. And Danush, if you become outdated, what happens?
We'll be back from everyone. We'll be ahead from everyone, ma'am.
You'll be behind.
Yes, ma'am.
And Saira, what happens if you start feeling you're behind, you're left behind? What happens to you?
Ma'am, we'll feel sad. We'll be like, we need to go ahead of them. We'll be having a sadness that we are outdated, and we don't know what is happening around us, even though we are staying in the same environment. Yes.
Christine, what is the psychological effect it'll have on you if you start feeling, oh my God, I'm outdated, I didn't know this, I am not aware, I'm not the latest? What happens mentally,
Um,
psychologically?
you lose your confidence,
Yes,
become stagnant, and you lose many opportunities in your life.
that's it. And Aisha, what happens when you lose out on opportunities and when you're into a larger group and you don't know and you feel ignorant and you stay silent and you start telling, oh God, I did not know. What happens, Aisha?
You will get depressed.
Ah, it'll come back to you. Ah, I've been lazy. Why did I not know? See, just the curiosity, hunger to learn brings you back to tremendous confidence. So that means the key to your confidence is learning. And tell me what happens when you have the confidence. Now you're talking about learning, but tell me what happens if you're confident children. You're confident. Erin, what happens if you're confident? Because you now learned. What happens when you're confident?
You get more opportunities, you feel more confident, and you don't feel left behind.
Esther?
When you're confident, you know everything about what you're speaking about, you're unique, you know you can stand out in the crowd.
Danush?
Ma'am, when we are confident, we think that I should be more confident. I should improve myself every day. I should find opportunities. I should be more better every day ahead.
Sarah? What happens if you're confident and you make an effort to improve every day better than the yesterday?
Ma'am, when we are more confident, we'll be best in our performances. Whatever we do, we'll be best and we'll be smarter. We are when we are confident, and as Danish said, we can get more opportunities. Yes, ma'am.
Christy?
Ma'am, you can be a leader. You can lead others to the right choices, ma'am. Like now itself, you can take your example. Since you are very knowledgeable, you are leading all of us to better choices and give us more opportunities and clearing our doubts. It's all because you are more knowledgeable. You can help many people, ma'am.
Aisha? What
You
happens
can.
when you're confident and you have what Christine said?
Sorry, can you repeat?
What happens if you're confident? You've learned, you're reading. What happens? And you're confident. What happens? How do you feel when you're confident?
I feel very happy when I'm confident
That's
because
the point. That's a clinch. See how beautifully you finished it? That's a clinch. After all, you do everything to do what in life? You want to, you eat well for what? You want to dress well for what? You want to have money in your pocket for what? You want to have good friends for what? You want to look well for what? In the end, to be sad, to be depressed, to be what? Happy,
Happy.
as I just said. In the end, it's all about happiness. But is happiness available in the market? Can I just go and pick it up from the market saying, hey, give me 2 ounces of happiness? Here is $2.
No, ma'am.
Is buying happiness? Yes, it's temporary. If I go, I love this clock. I love this clock. And I've gone to the best stall. I've got a lovely clock. But after that, it's finished. Done. I'm done. But what is the real happiness is what's grown within you, which is learning. See, you raised it all beautifully yourself. It's learning which takes you to confidence. It's confidence that gives you all these opportunities. It gives you a reputation. And the most of all is you feeling, I knew more than my friend, and my parents felt so proud, and I got even a reward for it, or I got an appreciation. And the best part is, I know I knew it, and I did it better. And in the end, you go choppily, you go singing, you go humming, and you're happy because you have done it. Isn't it? Isn't it? See, it all comes back from learning. That's the key. If you girls make it a point, keep learning. And you know your books are learning. Your books is not an examination. Your books, every chapter is learning. Environment, geography, history, science, physics, chemistry, mathematics, geometry, everything is a learning. It's for an examination, but that exam will come and go, but the learning will stay with you. If you learned, read, absorbed, understood, and then I love the fact that you're getting the book. You said you went to go to the library and you're asked to write a note. That's learning. Because when you read a book and then you make a short note of it, that is learning. That's why they ask you to write a note. That's what they ask you. Read a book, now write. How can you write if you haven't learned? Similarly, your every school book at the moment is a gold mine of knowledge. It's a basis of all knowledge. Let me tell you, your school prior to your 12th standard, your CBSE 10th, 11th standard, 12th standard are gold mines. Do not give them away. Keep them with you as your permanent library. You will need to go back to them because they've got the real fundamentals. You know, in the Union Public Service Commission examination, these UPSC examinations who want to sit for civil services examination, do you know what they do? They go to the CBSE store and they pick up 11, 12th standard books because that's got the basis. Have you understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Do not gift away those books because you've got notes. Keep your notes. And you can sometimes revisit the school. And do not do rote learning. Do not understand only for exam. And don't do only important questions. Read the book from the first page till the last. Understand it all. And then master some which you feel that you need to master more. So the more you understand what is written, the more you practice it, more you rehearse it, and more you take your self-test, more you're learning. What is learning? Not memory, which may fade away, but which becomes knowledge for you. That's called learning. That's making you make your own self your teachers. You are your own teachers. Who did not ask me the last question? Dhanush was the last question.
Mommy, there are two questions. There are two questions left.
Yeah, but can I?
Just a little mention. They've also prepared a minute each about festivals of India. Would you like them to speak?
I'll do it a little later. Let me
As
finish
you
the round.
wish. As you wish. Whatever.
Whose turn is it for questions? Is it Saira's turn?
Yes, Saira and Aisha.
Okay, go ahead. Okay, Saira.
Ma'am, what is the most inspiring advice would you give to the youths of the country?
What have I said so far? It is all answering you. That's the youth. Be learners. And I think your question is exactly probably in anticipation. What is, after all, youth? You're building a foundation. You already built this much of a foundation, right? And if this foundation is full of learning, skills, knowledge, behavior, character, you can build an empire state building on it, which means you can go as far as you want because it's built on skills, knowledge, personal development, personal habits of leadership. What is leadership? Is taking a lot of initiatives, doing things on your own. Don't have to be told. A leader doesn't need to be told. Leader leads. No leader is told, then he's not a leader, he's a manager. Manager sometimes is told, but a leader tells. Leader tells. Because the leader is leading within. He's thinking for himself to take responsibility. So my message to the youth today is grow up responsibility to take responsibility. And responsible upbringing means being very self-driven. And it's called the ABCD. A for ability. Keep sharpening your ability. Keep sharpening your ability. Whatever is your ability, you have all of them. You have shown me your abilities, you're all rounders. A is ability. Keep sharpening your ability, whatever you're good at. B is boundaries. Know your boundaries. What is your boundary? These are my boundaries. Home has a boundary. Every home has a boundary. Can you run into a neighbor's house? Every home has a boundary. See, home has a boundary. Law has a boundary. Examination has a boundary. These are boundaries. Your right to protest is a boundary. It's a boundary. So sense of freedom has a boundary. Am I free to say anything, to do anything, to be anything? No, I have a boundary. I'm driving on the road, there's a boundary. There's a signal. That's a boundary. I have to drive within these two parameters of the road. Boundary. B. C is conscience. Be conscious. Listen to your inner voice, which Saina is very good at explaining to you. It's asking yourself, am I on the track? It's silent talk, being your own friend. conscience telling you, conscience will speak to you. Then you might know, oh, is it God? Is it Almighty? Is it, who is it? Is it divine voice? It's your voice within. And D is duty. What's your duty as a student? What's your duty as a student? Your duty as a student is, what's your duty as a student? Erin, what's your duty as a student?
To
What's your
have more
primary
crave,
Huh?
to have
Huh?
more crave for learning.
Good. Good. You're taking it back. Esther, what's your primary duty as a student? As
To
you
be determined.
Huh?
To be determined to go forward with life.
Yeah. Based on?
In the student's perspective.
Yeah. Based on what is before you? What's before you?
Obstacles, hurdles.
No, before you is your school bag.
Oh,
Before
right.
is your school books. That's before you. So all Netflixes and Amazons come after. What comes before you is first your books. Your learning. Dhanush?
Yes, ma'am. Me learn more, get more information, and do good in your academics.
Yeah, and absorb more. Acquire more, research more. You can go beyond your books too. Learn
Yes.
more because everything's in Google. You can learn more, research more till you've covered the last article of that subject. You've researched. That means you're becoming your own master. It's ability. You're sharpening your ability as a student to answer that subject. Essay writing. Saira, I'm answering your question, isn't it?
Yes,
So what's before you?
ma'am, for me also, in the time you have, study creatively, and at last, education. This is told by grandmother, ma'am. At last, education is not. We should divide everything as in a property. We divide it to our relatives, everything. But in a education, whatever we have at last is our education, and that won't be divided to anyone. That will be with us.
As Erin started, that concentration has to come now. Concentrated learning. Concentrating without distraction. There's time for friends, there's time for entertainment, there's time for a holiday, but there is time, this time fixed for my books, where I sit on the table and I put everything aside. That's youth. The youth which does everything at the right time in the right way when they are growing up, grows up to be very successful as soon as possible. They build up an empire building. But the youth which gets distracted develops cracks in the foundation, develops cracks because it leaves some deficiencies in its building, a deficiency of a personality habit, deficiency, let's say, in good manners, deficiency in certain habits, because habits and education need to go together. And if you have got good habits, you'll study better because you got discipline. That's youth of today. So youth of today is do what is the time to do that. And at the moment, since you're in school time, books is your priority. So when you travel, travel with your books. Christine,
Thank you,
who's
ma'am.
it? Last is Aisha's. Aisha, are you the
Yes.
last one to? Go
Yes,
ahead.
ma'am.
Yeah.
My question is, does a big ego help or hurt the writers?
Does the
Does a big ego, does it hurt a writer or does it help them?
writer,
Yeah, a writer.
ego helps? Does the ego help the writer? Without ego, the writer cannot write. Because ego is what kind of ego? Ego is I want to do. The ego is I, me. Now, writer is writing to be read, isn't it? What is have I got your question right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. If I'm writing a book, I'm writing about my work, me. It's me in the ego. There's an ego, which is me. But ego for what? Ego to share. It's the I. Ego is normally called the I, me, myself. But for what? To contribute, to share, to document, to market, right? To record history. So there is no ego in this. You see, ego is not always negative. Ego is me, myself, I. But after written thing, that's it. It's all over. You've written it. Where's the ego? Ego is, if without the ego, you'll never say, I want to write. But you don't say, I am the only one, the best, and nobody else. That's negative ego. So it's the I. How do you interpret the I and use the I? Without the I, there is no action. But what kind of I think. Understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Thank you.
Saina wanted to say something. You have something, 1 minute, something?
The children had prepared a minute each on festivals of India.
Oh, good. They want to talk about it?
Yes, a quick round and then we'll do a sum up. Then we'll
Okay.
close the group.
Okay, Erin, you studied, I believe you were given this task by the Demonstrative Learning channel. Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, Erin, go ahead.
The festival that I will be talking about is Onam. Onam is a festival that is celebrated by the people of Kerala, both within and outside the country. It is celebrated to mark the homecoming of the great King Mahabali.
Yeah.
And Onam is the official festival of Kerala. It marks the beginning of the harvest festival in Kerala. And during Onam, people will hold boat races and traditional dances like Tiruvadira and Pulikali, which is tiger dance. And people make Spookalam, which is an arrangement of colorful flowers in different designs. And they put on new clothes and enjoy the sadhya, which is a banquet laid on banana leaves.
It's just a week ago you celebrated it, didn't you?
No, Onam is not in
When is
January.
the Onam? When is the Onam? Now.
It's in August, I suppose.
Huh? When is it?
August.
August, ma'am.
August. It comes in August. I thought
Yes,
it comes along with parallelly. I thought I'm comes with Pongal, etc. Doesn't come with all the harvesting of Lori.
No.
That comes later.
That was Pongal.
Oh, Onam. Acha, that's right. Okay. So it's in August.
Yes, ma'am.
I know it's a very big festival. Very, very big. Okay, Esther, what did you read?
Yeah, I will be speaking about the festival of Vishu. It is celebrated in India in Kerala. It is celebrated on the first day of the Malayalam month of Medam, or in between the months of April and May. In Sanskrit, Vishu means equal. In the historic aspects, Vishu was celebrated on the day when Lord Krishna killed the demon king Narakasura. There are three aspects to Vishu, which is Vishukanni, Vishukainitam, and Vishufalam. A very big beauty about Vishu is during the Vishu season, a flower, in particular a yellow flower, which goes by the name Kanikonna, or in English, it goes by the name of Indian laburnum blooms. It's a speciality of the Western Ghats of India. Vishu marks new beginnings, hopes, and aspirations to the people, and people look forward to a new year of happiness, well being. Thank you, ma'am.
Lovely. Comes in March, April? April.
In between April and May.
April and May. So, how would you celebrate in Dubai or Sharjah? Where would you be? Or you go
You can
for holiday?
celebrate in your homes.
Yes, lovely. Syra, which is yours favorite?
Sorry, ma'am.
Your festival?
Yes, ma'am. My festival is Diwali. As we all know, it's a festival of lights, and it is also known as Deepavali, and it is derived from the Sanskrit word. The word meaning is row of lights. And here it's an Indian festival which marks the symbolic victory of light over darkness, knowledge over ignorance, and good over evil. And also, it is celebrated with a great enthusiasm with great joy among the Indians. And the festival commemorates victory, harmony also. In southern India, this celebrates as a day where Lord Krishna defeated the demon Naragasura. And in the western India, this marks that the day of that the day where Lord Vishnu he defeated King Bali and sent him to the netherworld or Patala Lok. And it is also decorated with diyas all over the home and with sweets. On the main day of the festival, families gather to celebrate and do puja for goddess Lakshmi.
How nice. Lovely festivals, how bring us all together.
Yes, ma'am.
Anush, what's yours?
Yeah, ma'am. My festival is Holi.
Ah,
Yeah, ma'am. Holi, as we all know, it's also known as the Festival of Colors, and it is one of the most celebrated festivals in India. Holi is in the month of March, and it is considered as the biggest festival of our nation after Diwali. Holi is believed to be the celebration of victory of good over evil, and the festival marks the significance of love and color culture. And we celebrate more than adults. We children enjoy celebrating Holi more. We rub colors on each other and splash water balloons each other. From 2 days we celebrate Holi. The first day is called we perform a ritual called Holika Dan. It is a ritual where people piles of wood in public areas, and it symbolizes the burning of evil powers, and people gather around it and seek blessings. And the second day, as I said, we play with colors each other and splash water balloons. From morning till noon, we will be busy with playing, and evening we will be dressed up nicely and we will go and meet our family. And this is a day where we forget all our difficulties, sadness, and enjoy most.
all become rainbows.
Yeah.
We all look like rainbows.
Yes, ma'am, with full colors.
Yeah. Okay, Christine, which is yours?
Ma'am, my festival is Puthandu or the Tamil New Year. It's also known as Varshapirappu. It's celebrated on the first day of the Tamil month Chitrai. It falls on or about 14th April on the Gregorian calendar. So on this day, people start the day afresh by taking herbal baths, and turmeric baths are common among the women. Households clean their houses, prepare a tray with flowers, fruits, and other auspicious items. And then they wear new dresses and they light up their family altar. They light up the family puja altar, and then they go to visit the temples. And then they all, yeah, they buy new dresses for each other, and children go to seek for blessings from their elders. And they all sit down for a vegetarian feast after that. Um yes, ma'am.
Oh,
And then
wonderful.
they're singing devotional songs, and then they light up sambrani, and outside their doorstep they make a decorative, very elaborate decorative column with colored rice powder. Um yes, ma'am.
See, all these festivals make us buy, get new clothes, keeps our markets going,
Yes, ma'am.
keep our businesses going, markets going, food going, clothing going, shopping going, family get togetherness. So lovely. Aisha, which is yours?
I will be talking about Ramadan and Eid actually.
Ah, lovely.
So, Ramadan is one of the five pillars of Islam. It happens during the ninth month in the Islamic calendar. And during Ramadan, Muslims fast, where many Muslims they refrain from eating during the hours of daylight. And it is believed to teach yourself self discipline and to make Muslims aware about the suffering and those who are less fortunate than themselves. And Eid al Fitr, it is a religious holiday that occurs like right after the ending of like Ramadan, like the next day, and it is a like a period of fast. Like Ramadan is like a period of fasting, but like Eid, it marks the end of the fast, and it is the one day where Muslims, they're not allowed to fast.
How nice. Have you been fasting?
Yes.
Oh, good. Good. Okay, Saina, thank you for making this happen. All of them have talked about the festival very close to them. Okay, Saina, you're summing up.
Gee, children, a quick sum up. We've been talking about learning. Become a student of life. Become a true student of life. Get the canvas of your life ready. How do you paint? What do you paint on? You paint on a clean canvas. Get that ready. Learn from life. You have to be very aware of what's happening around you. You have to let your wisdom grow. You have to become capable where you can think on your feet. You have to work on that aspect of your life. You're growing. So while you're acquiring all your skills and the academics required, you have to grow in your wisdom. You have to ask yourself every day, am I growing in the right direction? Am I becoming more and more capable of taking the correct, wise decisions of my life? Am I being able to think on my feet? Am I nurturing and nourishing myself in the correct manner? And a little small point, you also have to choose the direction of your life. This is the correct time to decide what do you want your life to look like. Aspire, dream. By walking faster in the wrong direction, you're not going to reach your goal. It's not the speed, it's the clarity and the consistency that's going to get you there. So develop that. All this is a part of your learning.
Lovely.
You also have to learn what learning means.
Excellent.
So take care. And
Thank you. Thank you, Saina. Thank you, children. Lovely connecting with Sharjah today. Well, a week ago, I was with them, and it did fascinate me a lot. Stay happy. You'll stay connected with us, and we'll continue to send you morning nutrition messages. I'm sure Shakira has already told you about, or Shivani. Somebody's told you. Shivani will be sending you these morning nutritions. We shall stay connected. And if I happen to go back to Sharjah one day, I think I will be in Sharjah. I believe for the book festival. I may.
Yeah, ma'am, we
No,
can
I'll
come to our
inform
school.
you.
Come to our
You
school,
come to
ma'am.
the book
PANS.
festival. I will inform you. You come to the book festival because my book is now coming in Malayalam also. I'm releasing this book in Malayalam next Tuesday, 24th of February in Trivandrum. Book is being released. It's in Malayalam. So the book festival, Ajay Kumar, the author of Parenting and Lifeology, he is probably going to be formally sending the invite for the book. So I'll get to hopefully see you. Okay? God, all the best. Bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
to all of you, grow in your faith. Grow.
Bless you.
We thank our audiences for joining us. And we thank our audiences from Sharjah who have joined us. We thank your school. We thank your parents. We thank your friends for making all this happen. Thank you. And keep smiling like this. Keep smiling all the time.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Take care.
Yeah.
Lots
Bye,
of
ma'am.
love. Okay.
Bye, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Bye, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.